Hey guys, Sandro here from Carcraft Auto Detailing in Melbourne. In today's video, I'm going to talk a little about coatings in general, and also have a look at how the Nova Pro coating on the Audi S3 and the Nova Evo coating on the Audi A6 are holding up down the track. For those of you that have been following this channel, you'll know that the Audi S3 was given a single layer of Nova Pro glass coating just over 3 months now, and no top coat layers or sealants have been used over the coating. In addition, both of these cars are daily drivers, are parked outside and have only been washed once a month. Which, as I've previously explained, all of these factors have been done for testing purposes, to see how these coatings hold up in more extreme circumstances. The truth is that apart from proper application and preparation of a coating, the largest factor of how a coating holds up is environmental conditions, basic maintenance and care. So when you place a coating in more extreme conditions, this is when you're able to truly assess and judge its performance. You can actually take almost any decent ceramic or glass coating, and if applied correctly, and that vehicle is garaged more or less 24/7 with just some basic maintenance and care, that paint protection should last for decades without issue. This is why we now see coatings claiming 10 to 25 years durability, which given the right circumstances can actually be true. But in reality, if you actually intend on driving that car and exposing it to the elements on a regular basis, which really is what cars have been created and designed for, then these hyped up claims of 9 to 10 years plus durability aren't worth the piece of paper they're printed on. The other thing to consider is that unless the car is a museum piece, you just can't expect to go 9 or 10 years without polishing it in some form or another, which is basically going to remove or compromise any existing coating. I have discussed this topic on coatings a few times, also touching on some of the outrageous claims many of these coating manufacturers make, including 12H hardness, basically saying their coating is as hard as a diamond, or even those videos where the coatings are ignited into flames or scratched up with metal lighters, all of which are truly ridiculous and damaging to the reputation of all coatings. There seems to be this overly judgmental attitude with coatings that doesn't really extend to waxes and sealants, where coatings are expected to be indestructible and some sort of impenetrable suit of armour for your car. Now, I do understand that false advertising and marketing has a lot to do with it, but I just want you guys to understand that it's not true. Just as hybrid waxes and sealants have evolved from your traditional wax, coatings have evolved from your more standard sealants. It's a progression in the pursuit to finding the best possible paint protection for your car. There really is no right or wrong way to protect and care for your vehicle, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with using waxes or sealants instead of coatings. But what I do feel is wrong is the perception surrounding coatings that, in many cases, is misinformed and largely misleading. And the last point I want to make here is that paint correction is how a vehicle's paint is truly transformed. This is the stage where, if done correctly, will unlock the paint's gloss, depth, clarity, and overall look. Paint protection, no matter what you use, will never have the same influence in creating or shaping the paint's visual appeal. All it can do is further enhance what you've already accomplished during the correction stage. So more so than any other aspect, paint protection is about preserving all the hard work that's gone into correcting the paint. This is the one single reason over all others that has led me to using quality paint coatings, which is the pure and simple fact that they provide the longest lasting and increased protection to maintain all the hard work, labour and cost that's gone into correcting a vehicle's paint. With that aside, I'll try and catch up to the footage. The rims, as you may also know, were coated with pyro wheel coating and have been cleaned with PURGE wheel cleaner in a touchless method by pressure rinsing them down without any manual cleaning or brushes and mitts used. And for 3 months on since they were coated, and a month since they've been cleaned, hopefully you can see just what an amazing job this combination of PURGE and pyro is doing, with such a quick and easy maintenance routine that I have to say has really impressed me. For the pre-soak foam, I used CONCOURS Snow, which is a pH balanced car maintenance wash product perfect for coatings, as it doesn't leave any unwanted waxes, polymers or gloss enhancers behind like most car wash products do. These will actually mask and inhibit the coating from performing at its absolute best. Now, as you would have seen in the opening footage, the Audi S3 was seriously dirty and, like I mentioned, hasn't been washed for a month. But as you'll also see shortly, the dirt was perhaps 95% gone with just a touchless pre-soak foam and a pressure rinse down, which again is a testament to the coating's massive repelling ability that just doesn't allow the dirt and grime to bond to it with its insane hydrophobic characteristics. And even before we get to the hand wash stage, I can already see the amazing water behaviour as the foam is rinsed off each panel that clearly displays NovaPro's presence holding strong 3 months down the track. Snow was used once again during the hand wash stage at a 1 to 10 dilution ratio in a spray bottle using a 1 bucket method, which again is a wash method I've covered in many past videos. So great to see, but not surprising at all, the coating is holding up exceptionally well. The water behaviour is spot on and the paint's condition has been well protected, with very little maintenance and complete exposure to the Australian elements, which is a true testament for any coating to survive through. Now, for just about every coating I've applied in the past, I've always used top coat sealants, as they quite simply do have so many benefits in both preserving and visually enhancing a vehicle's coating. And although in all honesty I'd really love to apply top coat sealant at this stage, as I know it's going to help the coating stay to this level for longer and continue to both look and behave at its absolute best, I'm actually just going to continue to keep on monitoring the coating on its own for testing purposes. The only product I'm going to apply is the prototype quick detailer I've been testing, and only to the driver's side door. I've discussed and tested this product in my Mitsubishi Lancer video, where I explained how it's such a unique and amazing product like no other. And I'll also let you know that it's getting close to being released, with just a little more testing needed before that happens to ensure the results it's been achieving are consistent, which so far they have been. Next up was the Audi A6. Just like the S3, this car was as dirty, if not dirtier, with quite a lot of dirt and road grime covering the entire surface. As with the Audi S3, the same tests on the rims were conducted, with the difference being that the Audi S3 has coated rims, while the Audi A6 rims are uncoated. The biggest difference I've seen visually while testing pyro wheel coating on a number of different car rims is that the brake dust accumulation seems to be far less on the coated rims compared to the uncoated ones. Now surprisingly, PURGE wheel cleaner was still able to remove perhaps 95% of the grime with just a touchless wash on these uncoated rims. But the greatest difference that is quite clearly seen is the next test, where the rims are just pressure rinsed down without the wheel cleaner. Now on the S3's coated rims, this process was still able to remove 90+% of the grime, whereas on these uncoated rims, the pressure rinse down on its own has done very little at all to remove the grime, which again is a testament to the wheel coating's amazing repelling ability not to allow brake dust and road grime to bond to it as it does to the uncoated rims. The Audi A6 was then basically given the same maintenance wash procedure with the same products and methods as the Audi S3. You'll hopefully be able to see that the coating is holding up and behaving exceptionally well. Now I've used both Nova Pro and Nova Evo, formerly known as Nova DC, for the last 18 months or so, on dozens and dozens of cars with fantastic results. Overall, I would have to give Nova Pro a slight edge over Nova Evo for its overall performance and behaviour, but in this specific case, comparing these two cars, I hope you can see on camera that Nova Evo is just creating some of the most fantastic and hydrophobic water behaviour I've ever seen with any coating. So I just want to elaborate on that and help explain why this is. Coatings are really only as good as their application or the surface they're applied to. So if you get your application process wrong, or the paint surface is in a poor state, those factors will dramatically alter the coating's performance. But in a scenario where you have correctly applied the coating and adequately prepared the paint, you can still have varying results from one car to the next. Now overall, if you have done everything right, the results will always be great. However, that doesn't mean that they'll always be exactly the same. Coatings will always take on the characteristics of the paint to a certain degree. So for example, they aren't going to transform a super soft paint into a super hard paint, though they will greatly help improve the soft paint's resistance to swirls and light scratches. And they won't transform a cheap or old diminishing paint job into an expensive quality new one, but again, they will help improve the finish and behaviour of it. So what I'm trying to explain here is that the paint itself, regardless of the coating or really any paint protection product you choose to apply, is going to some degree make an impact of its own to the finish. You need to appreciate that a coating, wax or sealant is usually only a micron or two in thickness per layer, and whatever surface they are applied to still has a great determining factor on the overall finish and results. So don't beat yourself up if the coating you applied to 20-year-old cheap paint isn't performing as well as the coating you applied to a new custom high-end paint job. And although these two cars are both Audis and only 5 or so years apart, there is still a difference in their paint which does impact and produce a slight difference in the coating's finish and behaviour. Now I'm hoping to get both the Mazda 6 and the Ford Focus ST in for their next maintenance wash soon, so I can directly compare these two vehicles that also have Nova Pro and Nova Evo coatings applied. And I'll be greatly interested to see if the results are similar or perhaps a little different. In any case, I hope these update videos have been interesting and useful to some of you guys out there. As always, please like, comment and subscribe to show your support for this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.